Ma'am Lala?
Oo, actually nandito na sila. They had their tea.
Talaga? Oo, mahilig sa sa tea, tsaa.
They just had
Ah,
their afternoon tea. I don't know kung may
yan.
pronounce ko ng accent ko. Baka pagalitan ako ni Sir Irvin ng 9.8.
Nandiyan na ba? Kakausapin na
Oo,
ba natin?
nandiyan na ba? Pakiano na sila, pakiano na sila. Yan. Tatabihan na ako ng
Tatabihan
napakaganda.
si Ma'am Lala.
Yes.
Sandali lang ha, dun sa mga naghihintay ng kasagutan dun sa inyong mga tanong. Okay, pamaya-maya, daming mga nagtatanong. Ha? Okay,
Ano
tungkol
bang mga katanungan yan?
dun
Habang
sa mga ano.
natin yung ating guest. Johnny,
Sige,
hindi ba masyadong madilim sa paningin mo?
Ay, madilim ka nga.
O masyadong madilim ba ako sa paningin mo? Paano
Kasi, oo, kasi nagkukroma. Next episode, ayusin natin. Ha?
aayusin natin? Oo,
Oo.
pasensya na po sa mga
Pagtsagaan nyo po
viewers.
muna. Okay.
Pasensya na po sa mga viewers. Medyo may problem lang tayo, technical yan.
Oo. Ayusin po natin yan.
Pero
Si
sana,
ano muna?
kahit na medyo ganito yung ano natin, makikita naman ng kagandahan ng ating guest.
Definitely. Hayaan po ninyo. Magla-live kami next time around.
Yes,
Ha?
okay.
Para wala tayong maging issue sa
Of
sa
course.
ating production at sa ating broadcast. Ito.
Of course. Oh, andito
I,
na.
I understand.
He's our guest for today, Johnny. So
Yes.
let's try to exercise our British accent.
But I was told that our very special guest is a Filipina. Oo.
Yeah, indeed, yes.
And she will try to talk with us in Filipino. Otherwise, our nose will bleed.
I will try my best, but I can understand Tagalog fluently, but
Okay.
I'm very good in speaking Tagalog, unfortunately. So.
Well, it
All
looks
right.
I'm listening to Adele live.
Tinatanong Ma'am Lala ni Sir AJ, sorry sir, hindi ko pala na-forward kay Sir AJ. Ipadadala ko yung name ni Ma'am. She is from HCL Permanent. She is the head of recruitment. Her name is Gwyneth Barrett. Miss Barrett, how are you today? How are you today? Good afternoon. Napapaano ko, Ma'am Lala? Ha? Kakapiraso lang yung aking baon, nagagamit ko pa.
Magte-training na tayo kay 9.09ers. Charot.
Sige. Ma'am, kausapin mo muna, ipapadala ko lang kay Sir AJ
Yes,
yung pangalan ng guest
Yes,
natin.
of course. Good afternoon, Gwen.
Good afternoon.
And thank you for this immediate invitation that we have only told you about this Tuesday, right?
Tuesday it was.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
They were here last Tuesday, and of course, we had a catch-up meeting. And of course, Gwen here would like to share about the good news for nurses there who would like to work in the London. So, well, Gwen, my first question would be for the benefit of everyone listening right now. Can you please tell us about HCL Permanent?
So HCL, we've been around in the international recruitment industry for over 15 years now. I personally have been employed by HCL for 13 years.
13 years.
13 years myself. So we've had a long-standing relationship with IPAMS. So when we started international recruitment back in 2014, I think it was now, wasn't it? Almost 10 years now. I was asked to start up recruitment from the Philippines, being a Filipino myself. But we now recruit internationally, so not just the Philippines. We cover a lot of the African nations. We cover, New Zealand, America, anywhere really. So the Middle East, India. So I have an office. Our head office is in London, but I have a team here set up in the Philippines, and I also have a team out in India as well. So we have quite a fairly big operations worldwide.
Wow! And then, from the time that we started this partnership in 2014, like how many Filipinos have we already employed?
So in the last 12 months, we've had in excess of 300 post-pandemic, but it's almost in excess of 7,000 we've had since 2014. So 2 years of that was obviously for pandemic, where the whole of the world shut down, so we couldn't recruit any nurses, including the Philippines. But I'm happy to say since then we've been able to deploy nurses again successfully with the help of IPAMS.
Wow. So, narinig mo yun, Johnny.
Galing. Curious lang ako. Yeah. Gwen, how proud are you? Your roots are our kababayans here in the Philippines, right? I understand you have family here, you have friends here, and you are recruiting Filipino nurses for HCL permanent, and you showcase and highlight the Filipino talents all over. How proud are you?
Very proud. I think it's probably one of the proudest things that I do, and it's probably why I choose to do it and why I've done it so long, really. In the UK in particular, Filipino nurses are highly regarded still after all of these years. A lot of the clients still tend to ask for Filipino nurses from, nurses that stay for us for 10, 15 years plus. Majority of the nurses, and one thing I have to say with Filipino nurses is their loyalty. So once they come over, they tend to stay with employers, they progress. But not only that, it's their professionalism, the level of English. They're always highly regarded in the UK.
Wow.
Ayun. Tatagalugin daw ni Gwen lahat nung sinabi niya.
I can't promise, unfortunately.
Parang magno-nosebleed ngayon, Johnny.
Oh, siya magno-nosebleed. Oo. Are you staying for good, or you're just here to supervise the recruitment process?
Yeah, so this is actually a working holiday. So this is my first trip post-pandemic. So it's the first time I've actually met my team in 5 years. So
Okay.
last time I was here was 2017. I was meant to be here in 2020, but now I'm here again. But I do expect it to be more of a regular yearly thing now. My parents are situated here because they're retired now, so they're
I see.
from the UK. But no, I do expect to try and be here a bit more often than every few years. So.
And your parents are what? Both Filipinos?
Yeah, they're both Filipinos. Yeah, my mum's from Manila, Las Piñas, and my dad's from Batangas.
Alae.
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 Not the accent.
Have you tried the Batangas coffee yet?
No, I haven't. We're actually going to Batangas. Also, we're going to Cebu and Boracay, and then we're off to Batangas when we come back.
Boracay.
There are several very good diving spots in Batangas if you are into diving,
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't like swimming in the sea. But,
I see.
Probably the coffee.
yeah. Coffee I'll try. I'm a big coffee.
There is one resort in Batangas, Mamlala, no? Ito diving spot.
Yeah.
But for the thrill, there is this one big swimming pool with sharks. Just for the thrill. If you are not an ocean lover or yung deep sea diving, you can really dive with the sharks dito sa big pool na ito. One resort in Batangas.
Wow.
Oh, just for the thrill of it,
I'm not sure.
That's real.
That one I miss. Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Ma'am Lala.
Yes. Actually, when we started recruiting under HCL, it was introduced to us about this Capital Nurse Program. So, please tell us about this Capital Nurse Program.
So, Capital Nurse started with us back in 2019, just before the pandemic. So, Capital Nurse originally started off, I think it was 8 London trusts. And in the last 3 years in particular, it's now grown to 27 London trusts. So, we recruit for the entire of London, including mental health as well as general. So, like the whole of the UK, mental health is an area that's really needed at the moment, together with community, ICU, theatres. So we recruit for all of the London trusts. And again, I'm proud to say that with the help of HCL, all of our trusts are accredited as well by the DMW. So if you are offered an interview and you are given an offer letter, we are able to deploy all of our nurses through our accreditation via IPAMS.
Yes. And when we say London, Johnny, and say NHS Trust, these are government hospitals in the United Kingdom. So therefore, if they're looking for talagang reputable NHS Trust facilities, we have them here through HCL. And we've been informing also itong mga nurses natin na if do they still have doubts about whether living in London ba or in the countryside. So probably Gwen here can tell us about, the lifestyle of
Okay.
London for nurses natin doon. Because, sometimes, Johnny, yung mga nurses natin may mga thoughts about, maglo-London ba talaga ako? Magka-countryside? Alin ba mas malaki ang sweldo? Ano bang benepisyo meron?
Yeah.
So, yes, Gwen can explain more about, when you are a nurse living in London. So,
Yes, and the packages as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So under the packages that are offered under Capital Nurse, so they offer up to 20% salary enhancement. So it's called the higher cost allowance.
Ooh.
So it's 20% on top of the salary if you work within central London. So it's to help take care of the cost of living is why.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they offer that on top of your annual salary, basically.
Wow.
Now, it's the only place in the whole of the UK that offer a higher cost allowance. So it's called a HCL. And that's on top of their basic salary. But not only that, you can get overtime. So if you work extra bank shifts, if you work in evenings, weekends, you get different payments and enhancements on your salary. The cost of living, I guess, in the UK as well as the whole of the world is increasing. But again, the advantage of living and working in London is because you get the higher cost allowance. So sometimes it no longer is an advantage of living outside of London because the salary is the same now. Everyone gets offered the bottom of band 5. But the difference is within London, you are offered the higher cost allowance on top of your salary. But again, in terms of the benefits package, so you get up to 2 months free accommodation, your IELTS, your IELTS and OET is reimbursed, your NMC applications, all of the costs are covered. We pay for your flights. We, together with IPAMS, sort out all of your exit clearances from the Philippines, your medicals, all of the costings from your interview through to landing in the UK is covered by HCL, as well as the trust. And then upon landing in the UK, all of your costs that you have incurred will be reimbursed personally by HCL. Have a UK bank account.
Wow.
Do you also provide insurances for all the successful hires?
What do you mean by insurances? Sorry.
Personal insurance.
That's all covered with their exit.
Okay.
It's been covered, Johnny. So, well, right now, no, the London opportunity is growing. So, you mentioned the speciality already, Gwen. So, if in case someone applies for this position, when do we expect them to join these different trusts under Capital Nurse program?
So, I guess the benefit of using us together with IPAMS is we are able to deploy people in as little as 12 weeks. So as soon as you're offered a job, if you have all of your medicals, you've completed all your compliance, and everything is okay with your references, your police clearance from the Philippines, we're able to deploy you in as little as 12 weeks. We've even done it as quick as 6 weeks. It happens very, very quickly. But again, it's because we've got the accreditation. All of the hospitals have start dates every month, certificate of sponsorships and visa applications. We take care of all of that. So we're able to deploy nurses very, very quickly.
And do you also, do you have programs like the others, Mamlala, that the applicants or the hirees can bring their families with them?
Yeah, so we always advise nurses to come on their own initially because I guess moving to any new country is different. Equally for nurses, the main objective when they land in the UK is they have to complete their training to do their OSCE exam.
Yes.
So it's not the easiest test to pass, but all of the hospitals provide training and they have 3 attempts to pass the exam. So they have up to 8 months to pass the exam. So as long as they pass within the 3 attempts, then we would advise for them to bring their families because it can be very stressful. The accommodation provided is also only for single occupancy. So it's very hard to try and find accommodation for families if you've not been to the area before, schools for the children, etc. So there is always an opportunity to bring families, hence why lots of Filipino nurses stay and relocate to the UK. But we always advise do come first, pass your OSCE. once you're settled, bring your family over. And that usually happens within 3 to 6 months of landing, so it doesn't take long at all.
What's the usual duration? I mean, the contract duration, Gwen?
So in the UK, it's very different to the Philippines. So when a nurse or any employment in the UK is permanent, it's permanent for life. So but in terms of DMW, we have to put 3 years, which is in line of the visa. However, the expectation is their job is permanent. That's how we employ people in the UK.
Okay. Ma'am Lala, pasensya ka na. I need to ask these questions from Gwen. You know, I don't usually talk with commoners, you know.
Go ahead, Johnny.
I'm done. Sige, Ma'am Lala, baka may iba ka pang ano.
Yes,
question.
and of course, Gwen's team is also here along with IPAMS. We're hoping that we can convince also those who are actually working in the hospital. 6 months na lang kasing requirement, Johnny. 6 months na lang na hospital experience requirement. You still don't have your IELTS yet or OET, and or nagre-review pa lang sila. They can lodge in their application through us, and then eventually we will announce it later that we're going to have a monthly program wherein there will be like a series of talks along with HCL on how they will guide these nurses to work in any of the Capital Nurse hospitals in London. At the same time is yung ano pa yung kailangan nila i-complete na qualification. So ito na talaga yung tinitingnan natin, Johnny. It's not just about giving them jobs. It's about giving them the right path on how they will make sure that they have the right career, the right hospitals, ganon. Through the help of the HCL and IPAMS as well. Just
how many applicants are you targeting, Gwen?
As many as we can get.
Marami daw.
But from your requirement, how many slots are available?
Literally as many as we can find.
It's open, Johnny.
Talagang limitless, ha?
Yeah. So the UK government have a pledge for 50,000 nurses to land by November of this year. So any nurses that we can find, as long as they're able to come and be deployed by November, it's all to do with some government funding for international recruitment, which requires them to land and be in the country by November. So they need to be interviewing. If they're doing their review for their IELTS or OET, we advise to do it now to try and sit your exam within the next 3 months to guarantee that you can then come over to the UK this year.
Okay.
Alam mo, Ma'am Lala, what's more commendable is that our Filipino nurses are being handled by a Filipina.
Yes.
Palagay ko, no, the Filipino spirit, the bayanihan character of us Filipinos is very evident, no? Dito sa job offering ni Gwen, opening doors of opportunities to our kababayans. Opening doors of opportunities to our kababayans and their families and the community for them to be able to talagang uplifting lives ito Ma'am Lala, hindi ba?
Yes, tama ka dyan, Johnny. And gaya nga ng sinasabi natin, this Filipina whose accent is in British can understand what we're going through, lalo na yung mga nurses natin dito sa Philippines.
Pero hindi natin maibibenta, marunong magtagalog, ayaw lang subukan Ha?
Hindi natin mabenta. Tanungin mo kung kumain na rin siya ng balot.
Oo.
Ayaw daw niya
Isaw. Baka isaw, pwede pa.
Isaw?
Ayaw.
No, she doesn't.
Ano bang delicacy sa UK? Anong pwedeng, ano ba yun? Yung
Alam ko lang,
something to look forward to by our Filipinos in UK.
I mean, the good thing is over the last few years there's a lot more Filipino restaurants. London is highly Filipino. There's a huge Filipino community in London. There's lots more of Filipino options for foods. I mean, my parents have been there since the 70s, and London, I guess, is probably one of the most highly populated Filipino communities
Okay.
in the UK. So it's not hard to find, local churches, local schools that have the home comforts really of what
Yeah.
you expect here in the Philippines. So a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
you would think you can't get, you can actually get now in the UK.
So it means
When are you leaving, Gwen?
Sorry?
they also have bagoong, Johnny.
Talaga, yun yung sana itatanong ko. Kaya tinatanong ko kay Gwen, when are you leaving?
I'm here until the 15th of April, so I'm here for a
Oh,
few weeks.
ipagbabaon ko sana ng bagoong alamang at isda. Meron pala ron. Meron
Masarap
pala
naman
ron.
kayo, Johnny.
Oo nga eh.
Bring mangoes with bagoong.
Bagoong. I'm not too much of a fan, but I have tried it before.
Yeah.
Isama mo sa kare-kare.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've had that. No, we
Oh.
had that the other day. We had curry.
Sabi ko sa inyo, hindi maibibenta eh. Ha? Ang bilis sumagot.
I love Filipino foods.
Hindi natin mabebenta, ganun talaga.
Hindi natin mabibenta. Ako. It is always a privilege, Gwen, having you in the program. And our Filipino nurses community are very much interested. Alam natin yan. Not just to, earn pounds, no? More importantly, to make their lives and their family and their communities' lives healthier, happier, and more abundant.
Yeah.
Yes.
I couldn't agree more. It's probably one of the reasons why I've done this job so long. Is for me, it's not just a job. It's changing people's lives. So I don't see this just as a role, and neither does any of my team. We change people's, opportunities, careers, their families. So, for some people it is life changing, and for us it's nice to know that we can give back. So that's why
Yes,
I've done it for so long. So
Paying forward, that's right.
Yes. Okay. So just for us to recap, but I would like you to detail, if you may, Gwen, what are the NHS? Can we name NHS trusts which are under the Capital Nurse program?
I probably can't name all of them, but if you look up probably more of all of the London ones, there's probably not any of them that we don't cover. So if you look up under HCL, but also under Capital Nurse, it lists all of the 27 trusts that we currently recruit for. So some trusts may not be actively recruiting at the moment because we've done some recent trips out to India where we've recruited a hell of a lot of nurses. So we've done in excess of 700 from India in the last 6 months just for the Capital Nurse program. But yeah, I guess the big hospitals like University College Hospital, London, you've got Guy's and St Thomas's, Royal Marsden for oncology, everywhere, Royal Brompton. I can't even think of all of them now. London Northwest, St George's, Croydon, all of the ones that you can think of in London, Chel Westminster, all of them, they all fall under HCO and Capital Nurse. So they are just a few, but equally all of the mental health trusts we cover as well. So any special mental health nurses that are out there that are looking to come over to London, what we would advise is that you start your NMC under the mental health route. So if you have any experience doing mental health for at least 6 months, we advise you take your IELTS or OET and then start the NMC for mental health. So don't start the general, do the mental health, so then you become a mental health registered nurse once you pass your OSCE in the UK.
So for mental health nurse, is there, let's say they haven't taken their IELTS or OET, is there any program under HCL that can, assist them to do so?
So we've recently started just before Christmas a program where we're assisting any nurses that are going down the mental health route to, we will cover and pay for your IELTS or OET review and one exam as well. So if there are any nurses that would like to go down the mental health, but they haven't yet passed their language and would like some help and support, we would happily speak to you and then advise you how we can support you through your language and cover the cost of that for you as well.
I see.
Galing.
Oo, galing, di ba, Johnny?
Galing.
Hindi mo rin siya
All support binibigay talaga
Yes.
ng company HCL Permanent.
Yes. Oo.
Okay. Why don't you invite our listeners and viewers to apply in HCL through IPAMS, Gwen?
Yeah, so if you would like to apply through HCL, so you could email HCL directly via overseas@hclpermanent.com, or you can apply via IPAMS as well. So I know IPAMS have got some adverts out specifically that are co-branded with HCL. So please refer to their websites. All of the information, including the packages that are on offer, are on the IPAMS website for applications. So there are specific adverts for mental health, for ICU, for oncology, etc. So any information, reach out to the IPAMS team, but equally you can reach out to the HCL team as well.
All right, thank you so much. And looking forward to talking with you again. All the good news coming from your company, sharing with us and sharing with the Filipino community, Gwen.
No, thank you all for your time. I mean, as I said, it's a long process, I know, because it's not always easy to pass the exams, and equally the money it costs is what we recognise as well. But one thing I can reassure you is HCL will try and support as much as possible, and all of your costings are always reimbursed upon arriving and starting in the UK. So it may be an expense up front, but you always get your money back and paid once you're successful and in the UK. So that is what I can reassure you. So, you know, it's the hard work at the beginning, but we are there to help support you through the process.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mablala.
Thank you also, Gwen. And hopefully, while they're still on vacation, we can invite them in the studio.
Yes.
They will have time, of course, because of course, Gwen, probably if we're going to have another one of the sessions again, we can talk about the profile of the nurses that you would like to see and being based in different hospitals under the Capital Nurse Program. And of course, just to invite the nurses out there listening, or those who will be viewing this video eventually, no, na you can apply through us also sa IPAMS. We will our healthcare recruiters will be here to guide you.
Yeah.
We can tell you also which hospitals under Capital Nurse Program will be available based on your specialty. But right now, as Gwen mentioned, the priority is more on the mental health nurse, the ICU, oncology, and the community nurses. Yan.
Yung email address, Mablala, for nurses.
Yes. If you're going to apply for IPAMS, ang email address natin, that's UKRN@ipams.com with the subject na name/HCL at saka yung specialty na ina-applyan nila. Pwede rin pumunta dito sa IPAMS office, i-accommodate natin sila, Johnny. Especially kapag yung mga hospitals natin is malapit lang dito, and all of the sudden they decided to drop by at the IPAMS office from 8:30 in the morning until 5 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. We will welcome them and then assist their applications for HCL.
Okay. Alae!
Ay, ano
Alae!
pa?
Thank you so much, Gwen.
Thank you. If there are any questions, feel free to reach out to us, but hopefully we will see some more applications through the next 12 months and long it may continue, really. So,
Yes.
yeah, thank you for having me, and any questions, reach out to us.
Oo. Johnny, yayain mo na itong magbarik.
Ha? Isama ko si Ma'am Perla. Anak yata ni Ma'am Perla ito eh.
Magbabarik na kayo, no?
Have you met Ma'am Perla, Patricio?
I have, yeah, I have.
Same accent.
Yeah. Nose
Okay.
bleeding din.
Sige, narito pa yung mga tanong, Ma'am Lala, ng ating mga kababayan.
Oh, may tanong ba? Oo.
Maraming mga nag-i-inquire, no?
Yes.
Ito, housekeeping for UK and Canada.
Oh,
Outside
don't have
nursing.
housekeeping.
Pasensya na, outside nursing.
Nurses na for you.
Pamaya-maya, hahanapin.
Pamaya-maya
Natatabunan
na.
Natatabunan.
Oo, sige.
Okay.
So, okay na. Gwen will be busy working. Actually, she just had her office dito lang sa IPAMS. So,
Talaga?
na siya, okay na, no? Wala nang tanong ang mga nurses natin.
Pagka meron, i-diretso natin, ipadala natin. Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you, Gwen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yung nagtatanong,
Ano tanong?
asa na ba ito? Housekeeping nga, si Jonah Ignacio. Housekeeping, meron daw ba UK or Canada?
Oo, wala pa tayong housekeeping na job